Hey, how's everybody doing? Y'all doing all right? All right. So we got an email check. Somebody emailed me, said the collision mesh ain't working. So we're gonna see if we got that email. Yep, here it is. Collision glitch. Collision glitch. It's the MP4s. It's not a mesh. It's not the mesh, mine. You got to have the mesh to look at it. It's not the mesh. It's just an MP4. I need the mesh, man. I need to look at it in Blender. But I'll look at these anyway. I'll look at them and I'll see what we got in here. So it'll download it here and we'll play it on our display. We'll find out what the matter is going on with it. Hopefully it's something obvious. It's going to be easy to explain. But oftentimes it's not. So we got a lot of shit going on in the screen here. Okay, he fell to the floor. Oh, he fell to it again. And again. And again. Well, I can tell y'all right now. The big problem with this is that's too damn small. You got to have a minimum of like 300 millimeters. I think, I don't remember exactly, but it's a pretty good bit. You got to have a pretty good bit for it to register a good collision. If it's not, it's going to get stuck. It's going to get sticky or it's going to behave erratically because it's not enough surface area. I can't remember that damn distance. I want to say it's 300 millimeters, but shit. I mean, ChatGTP probably knows. It knows everything. It just sometimes hallucinates and is wrong. That's crazy. You call it hallucinating. I do that too sometimes, but I don't get enough sleep. Uh, Damn, I fall asleep, man. Eating breakfast sometimes. I get so damn tired. This damn computer, man, will drain you. It'll take all your energy. You gotta take breaks, get out a little bit. Tell me the minimum. You know what? I don't know. I guess I'm getting old. I can't think of shit. I can't spell worth shit anymore. Um, I had to look up how to spell water today, man. That's something, ain't it? Hey, damn, man, you make all that shit and you can't spell water, man. Now, it's a little more complicated than that. Uh, it's a little more complicated than that. The minimum width of a collision mesh for beam in G not to get stuck. I uh, the minimum collision distance should typically be 0.1 to 0.2 meters. Okay, well, tell me what that is in centimeters. Didn't I say centimeters? Is that in centimeters? 10 centimeters. What did I say? 100? 300? No, I said millimeters. God damn it. Okay, I was right. Damn near right. 100 to 200 millimeters. So when you're in Blender, you get a measuring thing in there. Now you don't have to change the artwork. You can leave the artwork the same. You just make the collision mesh bigger since you don't see the collision mesh. But you got to make a collision mesh to do that. You're not gonna. You can't do it with the visible mesh final. So I'm gonna say that thing I was looking at is probably like a train track, probably what it looks like. I couldn't tell much, but I want to say it's probably a train track. Oh, also, there's a minimum number of sides a pole should have. I think it's 6. It recommends minimum. Okay, he'll know what I'm talking about. Minimum sides for a tube like a pole. Six sides. Okay, I'm kind of right. Kind of right. Kind of right there, folks. I do have memory. I remember stuff that I don't. Most people don't remember. My wife says I remember the shit that don't matter. So that's 8 meters. I call it selective memory. I got crazy memories from like people shouldn't have, like when you're 2. I mean, you're like complete stories, but I got a lot of stuff I remember. But then I can't remember where I put something down 5 minutes ago. It's like a memory problem, I reckon. That's not right. What the shit, man? I can't damn measure this thing right either. So 0.1, 0.3. Okay, so 0.2 would be 200 millimeter, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's right. I think it needs to be a little bit bigger than that. Import in a car from the game. Get us a good idea of scale. Let's see here. Import DAE. Import DAE. Let's see here. I get all our old reliable here. Served us well in the past. Yeah. So at least 0.2, I'd say 0.2 at the minimum. So if this is your mesh that you're looking at, and maybe you want it to be even smaller than that, that's fine. You can do that. But you need to have a collision mesh that's going to be bigger, so it'll catch it. I made a thing one time that was a head decapitator for the dummy, that when it run into the car, run into it, it'd like rip the top off, kind of cut anybody's head off. But it wouldn't work because it was like a axe blade at the end. It was like less than 0.1 millimeters across. You know what I mean? So the only way I could trick it is I had to have a big, thick square, basically act as the collision mesh. Now you wouldn't know when it hit the car that it wasn't exactly cutting it like where it should. Nobody's gonna know that, but you. So yeah, that's probably about good there. Yeah, it's probably about good back there. 2.2.3, yeah. So yeah, you would just basically have this as the collision mesh. Now to have it in here as a collision mesh, you need to add 2 empties. They need to be these plain axes here. I don't know, they're more like a folder than they are anything else. I don't know why they don't just call them folders, but they call them empties. So I duplicated it. We're going to name one of them Start 01 and the other one Base 00. Now, what you got to do, Base 00. What you got to do is you got to hold Shift and then left click on the thing while holding Shift and then drag and drop in the base. So you're putting Start in the base, just like that. Then you open up base and you see it's in there like that. Then you take these 2 items and you put them in the Start. Now the one that's the collision mesh, you name COL MESH-1. It don't matter what you name this one, but we got to give it some kind of texture, so we're going to give it just something. Alright, let's apply all our transforms. Because I know you applied all your transforms, didn't you? Surely you did that. If you didn't, you're messing up now. The 3D cursor needs to be at 0, 0, 0. Basically, it's the center of the world. It's that little round candy cane there. You can go to the view and tell it to be at 0, 0, 0. That's where it needs to be, so that when you select your two items here and there, you can tell it to set origin to 3D cursor and then apply all transforms. That'll make sure that the collision mesh is where it needs to be and it's not off. It has to do with the positioning where things are in the world and beam. It knows like where 0, everything knows where 0, 0, 0 is. Now, if you got your scale different and whatnot, it don't matter. Everything knows where 0, 0, 0 is at. But that'll get you there as far as this goes. Also, check your collision mesh. Go up to these two balls and say face orientation. And make sure it's not red. If it's red, it's inside out. Now, an inside out mesh plane, you'll just go through it. And of course, the other side will stop you. However, if you got a object that's a 3D mesh and it's closed and it's flipped, inverted, then it'll eat the cars. That's great for lava if you want to do that. So that's what it would look like if you had them inside out. And you may have a couple of these inside out and the other ones aren't. So you just select the ones that are inside out. Go to edit mode. You got to be in edit mode. Go to mesh normals flip. And that puts them the right way. Assuming they're not something you're driving in the middle of like a tunnel. Then it works you on the other way. So let's export this thing into the game. We'll export it into this level I'm farting around with here. We'll make it its own folder because it's going to have a new material. Unless you want to add the thing to another material that's already in a different folder, and I just let it make it. I just let it make it. That way it's done. But you can manually make them. I did it for 2 years. I didn't know the damn game would make the base texture. Let me run in there and get this real quick while this is loading. Be right back. Let me get the levels. Or did I load small grid already? I mean small island. I guess I didn't. I have a shortcut to get to it. Alright, give me a minute. Be right back. Alright. What the hell is this thing taking so long to load for? Maybe I got the game loaded twice. I've done that before too. Done that many times. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. You're like, what the hell is that? That's chicken skin. That's what it looks like. It's supposed to be the desert, but it's chicken skin. It looks like chicken, like the skin of a chicken. Import in our object. Now, of course, it's got its own collision mesh. You don't enable visible mesh final. And that's the whole point of making a collision mesh in Blender. I'm going to show you one more thing, too, that'll help you figure out what's going on with it. But first, let's get this in here and all right, so there's our blue thing there. I'm make another one. All right, we'll rebuild collisions. Now we should be able to. So here's how you check it. Go up to here to ground model debug. And when this window pulls up, tell it to show you static objects. And what it'll do when you move your cursor over the object, it's going to show you where it's got collisions. Help you figure out what's going on with it. If you want to ever check your ground or depth, you got those options too. Checks the depth, what it is, and the surface types. It's a really good tool. It's really useful. I've used it a lot. But yeah, that's what I would do with that, man. The first thing is load it up, do a debug on it to see where the collision mesh is at. It's not a J-beam, so it's not going to have the regular triangles that you can enable. You'd have to do this to see them. But this works great. Now, if you don't see anything when you run it over that, then you ain't got a collision mesh. All right, it's that simple. It doesn't have one. But it seems like the problem is the floor. Just looking at that video, it looks like what might have happened with you is this. And so you got this other area that's it's like a mesh plane kind of goes between them. That's what it looked like. Now you see how that's a plane? You can see how it's inside out. All right. I export that to the game. Oh, and I realized that wouldn't be. You know what? Let me join these together. That's the collision mesh, and this is just a cube. But if we want that to be in there, we'd have to send it over too. I forget. I'll show you what I mean. Let me just export this back real quick and get back to the game and show you what I'm trying to explain. I'm not doing a good job explaining. Alright, now y'all saw me make that collision mesh. Now look at the bottom. Look at the bottom. But we're not on the bottom, are we? We're on the top. This was the other way around. And you can see how it catches us like it's supposed to. But if that's inside out and it's that way, then you're going to go through it. I got that damn self confused now. Try to just rotate that thing over, I thought. Look, I know it works. I don't know what I done did. I done screwed up something. Anyway, just try that and see what happens with that.